Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of the AyurAstro Videocast. My name's Renay, an Ayurvedic astrologer, if you will. My website is ayurastro.com, and I'm here with Molly McConnell, uh, my friend and colleague, and we're going to have a conversation about Ayurveda and astrology. But first, I wondered if Molly, you'd like to say something about yourself.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Molly McConnell. I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner, which is the work that led me to be curious about my Vedic astrology chart and to connect with Renay many years ago when I was living and studying in Boulder, Colorado. And now I'm practicing full time and have been for years and have gotten to continue to know Renay over that time, as well as to deepen my understanding of myself through my Vedic chart. So that's kind of why I'm here because I believe in it and I hope to support Renay in maybe making some of this information a little more accessible because she's up to a lot of very interesting things.
Yeah, it certainly has been um, relatively busy spring for me. Lots of fun new things coming out, and one of them is something we'll be talking about in the second half of the hour or so we'll have together, and that is a universal numerology page or application, if you will, that synthesizes, unites the different, like I think 5 to 6 major world numerology systems, everything from Chinese to Pythagorean to Chaldean, which is akin to Vedic numerology, and Gematria of Israel and their heritage. And so it's really, uh, I think, a beautiful thing to play with numbers and to understand that there's hidden meaning in them. And it is something we refer to in Vedic astrology and Ayurveda, even in its more esoteric elements. So, just for today, that's what we're talking about. Maybe next week we'll cover um, the translation of Bhagavad that recently came out for me. And after that, we can talk about some other brand new offerings at AyurAstro, brand new being in the past 6 months or so. So yeah, exciting times for us here.
Mhm. And I love to hear you talking about numbers and kind of like the joy of connecting with numbers because this gets at something that I think is core to your personality, your way of practicing, and also your past that kind of
Mm.
led you to this moment. So I hope in our conversation today that we can chat a little bit about how you got to this moment as a fully booked um,
Yeah.
Vedic astrologer. You know, you've been practicing successfully for a long time, and there are a
Mm.
few, I would say, modalities that are kind of foundational to what you do. And let's chat
Yeah,
about that.
sure.
How did you get to this moment?
Um, oh, wow, just magic and wonder and chance. But I think I'd have to dial back to being 5. And, the first book I ever read was on dandelions or something in the library, the little kids section of the local library. And I had back then almost a photographic memory. So I still have the photographs of the images of that first book in my head. And dandelion is a powerful herb uh, to this day in Ayurveda and other sort of practices of herbalism. Um, I grew up in Pittsburgh, which actually has the most trees like in any urban environment in the country. It's said that Pennsylvania, which means Penn's Woods, that a squirrel could go from one end to the other just by treetop. And still to this day, there's so many trees. And so this being the 1970s, early 1980s, we all just played outside and played in the woods and uh, almost had this like little kids education system. Maybe you've had this too, of like one kid teaching the next kid about herbs and stuff in the environment because they heard it from their sibling or something like that. So I think that was the start of love for biology and herbs and um, in a way medicine, but of a very natural sort. And I'm still very sympathetic to Christian Science in the sense of uh, trusting in God in a sort of natural sense of the body. I mean, in my mind, maybe what I'm about to say is controversial, but Western medicine's only been decent in the past 100 years or so. And until then, other things did more work. Since then, certainly yeah, the progress of Western medicine's astounding, truly astounding. And in the last 20 years, I mean, it's really exponentiating. And that's truly great. But there's still room for herbs. There's still room for the five elements and having this perspective that of whatever faith or heritage you may be, you still have space, air, fire, water, earth in your life. And just as, you know, you take breath and you feel water and drink water and you relate to others and you, in that way, practice Ayurveda. So I had, for whatever reason, kind of a, a an ability, even age 5, 6, 7, you know, to appreciate things in this way and to really admire nature in these ways. And so that's why when I turned about 10 or 11, not until then, but at 10 or 11, like sixth grade, I really, like the rocket ship started to take off in terms of burners being lit for education. I was just entered into my Mercury Mahadasha. But like all of a sudden, I was studying hours a day on mostly science and still, you know, spending 2 hours a day with my friends and in cross country, which I sucked at. By the way, I was the worst person on the team, but I went. And, you know, just to hang out with my friends and, you know, going to volleyball and everything, but also studying. And I mean, it just took a couple of years so that by the time I was maybe 14 or something, I had these early acceptances and whatnot into the notable schools listed on my website. So it all happened pretty quickly, I would say, but all
Can
I
you
think
say
built on
what the schools
Ayurveda.
were?
Well, I don't know if they matter now because I did not go to them because my father went to jail at that time for tax evasion when I was 14, which was devastating. And all of a sudden, like I could not uh, go to these schools. But they were early admission at 14,
Yeah.
not just a regular admission, but an early admission to Harvard. Um, uh, MIT might have given me a full scholarship, I'm not sure, but MIT was my preference, and then Oxford. Just out of the blue, I didn't even apply to Oxford. So yeah, you know, they kind of find you at a certain level. Someone asked me, well, how did all that happened? Like, did you go out and apply? And at a certain level, they kind of find you, like sort of like college football players or something like that, you know. Um, so it was a little bit like that. It was a mix, I would say. I did reach out. I did finish high school early insofar as like there was no more classes to be taken. I was like actually asked by the teachers to teach for them sometimes just so they could rest their feet in social studies class or something. Yeah, so I mean, my pre-college experience was really great. Socially and academically even. It was an academically focused program. So I'm grateful for all of that. And then I uh, I went to school where I could effectively be what's it called emancipated at 15 and get a scholarship because I needed to pay for groceries and stuff like that. So at 15, I was emancipated and finished up, traveled, got some scholarships to travel and just goof off and also finish school. And so that when I was 20, I went to grad school here in Boulder for mathematics, applied to biology, genetics more particularly. And weirdly, also one of these strange things was given a very minor but nonetheless like faculty position at our local medical school and stayed there until my K2 time began, which I didn't know yet. But I will have been there until the day, I think it was like to the day my K2 time began. Uh, but I didn't know all of this yet. With K2, I have it in my 10th, so there's release and letting go of a public life expression, including which was science. And I explored. I mean, I went back to like food as medicine and um, sort of went hiking every day and found my way to Ayurvedic school at the Ayurvedic Institute. And
Mhm.
then thank God, everything changed. So, yeah.
Mhm. And have you um had you ever seen yourself on a kind of alternative path? You know, when you
Yeah.
were um like in your master's program in like science, which is pretty straightforward, did it occur to you that you might make your way into something else that would be related but in very different ways?
Interesting question. Yeah, I mean, I think in that culture, I've always stood out as a hippie, as we used to call ourselves, like that kind of persona of someone interested in making her own yogurt or something, like or
Mhm.
someone who would take herbs first before anything else. So I always like was that person in the lab, that person on the floor of the laboratories. Um, and would give advice to other people if they ask me, oh, what, should I take for a headache? I say, well, so I had just a social, cultural kind of assignation of being alternative in that sense. But no, I mean, K2 just arrived with a bang, as it tends to, and I just woke up. I think I was like, I don't want to actually do this thing that I've been
Mhm.
wanting to do since I was 5. I feel done, and so I put in 2 weeks notice just to be uh, polite, and 2 weeks later my K2 time began, and I began sort of a new phase of life.
And how did you land on Ayurveda specifically? You know, you could have
Oh, I
studied Western herbalism, you could
mm,
have stayed in Boulder.
it was really cool. Like a friend and I were making smoothies together, and I told him as we were sort of experimenting with the ingredients, I said, there's something special about some of these herbs, like turmeric and saffron. I don't know what it is, but they have something extra to them compared
Mhm.
to the other spices. And he said, oh, those are all Ayurvedic. He, and I said, what's that? And he said, look up Ayurveda online. And this was like 1998 when there was like one, 200,000th of the internet compared to what there is right now. But Ayurveda.com came up, which is Dr. Lad's school. And it was a very simple website at that time. But I just read it for like 10 seconds, maybe 12. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what I'm doing next. I just I don't know. I just knew it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you packed your bags and you made your way to Albuquerque.
Yeah.
And what was that like?
It was good. I mean, there's all these amazing people as classmates and um great people, great teachers. Of course, Vasant Lad is the coolest of the cool. Fantastic teacher and lineage holder and seer and magic man of great distinguishment. And so uh, I would tell people it's like Hogsworth, because Harry Potter was very big about then. And I said, look, there's Ervil School, there's um, runes, school. There, yeah, all in one place. There's there's uh mantras, and it was very much the kind of
Mhm.
magic school to me. And I mean, it was way beyond expectation, exceeded expectation times a billion. Yeah, I was so happy to be there. So
And at what point did you start connecting with Jyotish, Vedic astrology? I imagine that would have happened while you were in Ayurveda school.
yeah, it was really beautiful how it happened. Hart Defoe at that time would teach in the basement of the school. He was teaching there at that time. And um, frankly, I was more drawn to that material than even to the rote of, academics of the regular stuff happening upstairs in the first year. And this was first year, like first semester stuff. So I don't even think the Lad was in the building yet because he tends to go in January, or at least back then he would stay through the holidays in India in the fall, the harvest holidays and all the wonderful holidays in October and so on. Um, and then come back in January to teach. So here we are, autumn, uh, and the boring stuff was happening of the first initial stuff of Ayurveda upstairs. So I would just like camp out on the steps, going downstairs to Hart Defoe's classroom. And I just try to hear what I could hear. And I don't know, man, it's so kind of him, but like maybe I don't know how long it took, 2 or 3 weeks of this kind of ridiculous situation on my part. But he said, "Oh, come on." And he let me come in, and then he drew an empty chart, to start the class. And I just knew, like,
Mm.
uh, this is what I've been waiting for, like my whole life to study. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he let me do that. It was so cool.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. And so amazing to see it and know and
Yeah.
feel maybe almost like this is familiar on
Um,
some level.
yeah, I don't know, maybe. I mean, it felt new. I mean, so I don't
Yeah.
know if it felt like past life, here I am again,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But there was this like, oh, I've been waiting so long for this.
Oh, that.
Um, yeah, so maybe I was back, I don't know, I was in Ayurveda in past times, past lives, but this is the first time I could do the astrology component of it. Also, I
Mhm.
should say my parents both practiced astrology, but tropical astrology. So it wasn't that I was exposed to it from childhood. Um, that the Kundalini chart, the basic Vedic empty chart, this was the first time seeing it. But I did grow up with astrology, but not that type, not Vedic astrology.
Mhm.
So bless Hart Defoe, for letting me, and bless Vasant Lad for letting me in. Bless all the gurus and the lineage, for letting me in and study
Yeah.
there. So yeah,
It led you right where you needed to be.
I guess so. I mean, maybe we all have that. I hope we all have that. I think we all have that, maybe. Um,
Mhm.
I I think it's really hard not to have that. I wouldn't
Mhm.
say it's impossible to not have that, but it's hard to not be where you're supposed to be.
Mm. I think a lot of people would be reassured to hear that.
Yeah, it is one of the stronger things I believe, and I probably don't say it enough, but I do say it to people. Yeah.
Hmm. And maybe for just a couple more minutes,
Mhm.
what was it like when you started really taking in that new
Yeah.
information? Did it feel like it was clicking in your brain? Were you
Oh
excited to pass
yeah,
this on people?
well, sure. I mean, it was a great group of students that I was with, and it was great knowledge, and it made everything make sense in a way. Everything from why this and not that. Like in society and uh, on TV. I mean, just like everything all of a sudden started making sense in a very integrated way, and I still think that. It yeah, it was fulfillment of it, everything I ever was curious about, like all at once, being answered kind of thing. And in a way that's self-consistent and self-coherent and beautiful. So it certainly was something I wanted to devote myself to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I did.
And
Yeah.
and so you've been practicing Jyotish since then, it
Well,
sounds like.
yeah, I mean, I think I took, and I shouldn't gloss over this, but I took like 5 years until the K2 time was over to study. I was able to do that. And thank you, Lord, for that. Uh Literally, I mean, I don't mean to say that flippantly. Literally, I give thanks for that 5 years. And that's where I really studied the most. I mean, I continued taking workshops with Hert Defoe, but I also, um, sat still for 5 years. So I went from hiking, up to uh, the top of our local mountains here in flip-flops like I used to do daily. And I just sat still for like 5 years and studied. And so that was in large part the basis of the practice that began in 2008,
Hmm.
professional, that you could
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
And to kind of tie it into this moment now, in
Mhm.
addition to practicing Vedic astrology for all these years, you've also kind of, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but always or in an ongoing way have been doing research in your life, even since leaving the lab, right? You write pretty in-depth research papers.
Mm.
As far as I'm concerned, you're a mathematician. I don't know if you identify as such, but there's a real
Mhm.
mathematics component in how you weave your work together. And I'm seeing that come through in the way that you've generated some really interesting tools
Oh yeah.
as of late. And that's actually what's bringing us together in
Mhm.
this moment is to kind of unpack all of these tools that you've made available to the world that are really an intersection of these high level skills that you have.
Yeah, I mean, if you go into the astrology of, sorry, and well, the astrology of astrology, and look at this, the astrology of mathematics, people who are good at mathematics, especially number theory style mathematics, which is a very cool subject and surprises some people that yes, daily, every day, new discoveries in numbers are made. And theories and proofs are made. People don't realize that. But it's true that number theory is a discipline that I personally love and actually might get a PhD in if I'm still thinking about it. But anyway, the astrology of that sort of interest in PhD number theory kind of stuff is identical-ish to people who are very good at astrology. the astrology of
Mhm.
astrologers, if you will. So I do have that pattern. Yeah.
Mhm.
So was I did I forget a part of that question? I'm not sure. But I was just in terms of tools, but there's still a part of me that has uh the herbalism interest, and
Mhm.
there's a part of me that has just love of Sanskrit and sutras and languages and so on. So there's some language tools on my page, is on my website on the tools page as well. But language is a kind of mathematics, so
Yeah.
mathematics is a kind of language.
Yeah.
And uh, so yeah, it's nice to uh, still have good work, even um, that I didn't get too far away from my roots in a way,
Mhm.
because uh, this work is true enough and hard enough and real enough. Um, I feel like it's still really good work to do for anyone who um, has the background, say, that I do from childhood. Like, it's not wasted. And
Mhm.
I bring this up because there are some sad situations, and some of them were experienced by friends of mine who also had like really intense academic childhoods, youth, and um, and weren't able to really fulfill that because of the weirdness of industrial science, some various things. So I feel like I'm hanging in there. I'm still doing the good work and doing the best I can, and it's still really interesting and engaging enough to be satisfying, for that uh, makeup I have. So,
Yeah. I can really feel that from you. And I
I
think
think,
um it's like powerful and deep and very unique relative to maybe other astrologers that I've worked with to have kind of all these pieces coming together in this way is really
well, thank you. Yeah.
feels like a privilege to get to work with
Oh,
you.
oh, thank you, Molly. Well, I would say there's sadly not too much of an audience for it, though, and maybe that's part of what this videocast series is for, is to see if I can help more people. I mean, as you mentioned at the start, it's not so much a matter of scheduling appointments. That's fine. That tends to take care of itself into the near future across, 16 or more years, no, 20 years at this point, almost. So it's more so by helping more people, I think I just mean more generally. And I love having the appointments and working one-on-one with people with what's most engaging and compelling to them and needful for discussion with them in the moment. That is primary, but also, I do wonder if there could be more of an audience for all of these different tools that are somewhat uniquely coming out on the webpage.
Hmm. Well, let's transition to talking about one of those tools in particular,
Hmm.
that numerology tool. Can you
Okay.
walk us
Yeah.
through maybe where to find that on your website and then kind of
Yeah.
intro us to the whole thing?
Alrighty, sounds good. Yeah, I'm gonna start up Safari, whatever browser you want to use. Let's try that. Okay, I'll switch over. And I'll start up at my website. So hold on.
Perfect.
Ready. One, two, three. Should go. Okay. So this is my website, and you can find it at AyurAstro.com. Up here, you might see that. Certainly, there'll be a link in this video, below this video. So if you go to tools, you'll see a bunch of uh, offerings. And we're going to today talk about one in the numerology and language section, which is the Universal Numerology app. if you click on Open Tool, it should take you to num.ayurastro.com, num.ayurastro.com. And I'm just going to try to remember what my password is. But if you pay $12, you'll get access to this forever. And you can see here a comprehensive instrument for contemplation of numerical correspondences across the great traditions, Pythagorean, Chaldean, Vedic, Chinese, and Kabbalistic. So uh, up here are different offerings that you can use, but typically you have to fulfill step one, which is selecting your system and then entering full birth name, current no name if you use a shorter one, and your date of birth, and that's all you need. So for this numerology, you don't need time of birth or place of birth. So do you want to do yours or should I use mine?
Which do you prefer?
Um, how about we both do it? It should like
Sure.
I'll do mine first, and then if you feel like it, we can do yours.
Mhm.
Um, and then I'll skip over this one. Maybe I think my birthday is pretty known, so oops. You have to tab between the sections. Okay. And so I'll start with Pythagorean. Right, here we go. And here's some information. Um, so your karmic debt, and yeah, this is nothing I made up. These are just really well-established interpretations from the millennia. My expression, the peacemaker, uh, heart's desire, the illuminator, and so, yeah, alrighty. I would say I agree with these things. Um, if we want to jump over, yeah, go ahead.
If someone was unfamiliar with numerology or thought that it was like woo-woo, kind
Yeah.
of not rooted in something, how
Mm-hmm.
would you explain to them what it
Um,
is rooted in?
that's a great question, and I don't think that there's an easy answer except to say, for example, say you go to India today, and word gets around in the neighborhood that an astrologer from America has come, Vedic astrologer. Even now, today, everyone will come up to you and say, "Oh, here," holding my hand up, my palm. Here, read my palm. Why? Because you're an astrologer. And so, what I mean to say is that palmistry is like the way, even in contemporary India, largely, to practice astrology, because pretty much everything in a chart is in the palm and vice versa. Um, Now you asked about numerology, and it's kind of akin to that, insofar as like we talked a few minutes ago about how people who love numbers tend to love and be good at astrology. So why? Because numbers have if you're like what's it called, synthesia kind of oriented, I kind of have some of that, where numbers have like taste and color and shape and form and personality. Um, so uh, this isn't just my observation. People have sensed it, for millennia, that much like they've done astrology just fine before computers, they would use palmistry. So to Numbers themselves hold meaning. The numbers derived from the letters and sounds in your name hold presence, and
Mhm.
the numbers in your birth date hold presence. So uh, yeah, it's nothing I've spun up just to entertain people. It's it's a pretty well conserved system across millennia, uh,
Yeah.
in the synthesia kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense to me. Thanks for
Okay.
answering that.
Sure. And so just jump over to Chaldean, which is actually going to be, for me, really similar to Pythagorean, but isn't always. Vedic, same, is only a slight twist from Chaldean. Chinese is interesting. There we are, I am a bit different. And then Kabbalah is going to be a bit different too. Now, once this has been entered in, this stage one, you do get offerings for an advanced reading by going up to this in the menu, this advanced word. And so there it'll show you any sort of missing karmic lessons. Um, so they're described up here. And yeah, I would say this is frankly all pretty accurate. Um,
What does it mean missing karmic lessons?
yeah, well, these are like numbers that are not showing up in my numerology, and they have qualities too. So that means I'm sort of low on those qualities, and they dare to kind of list them, and so I'm going to
Mm,
be bold and share that with everyone here too. And so yeah, I'd say these are all pretty um, accurate. Uh, um, so like a bridge is number 10, which actually goes back down to one, which is the pioneer. So my pioneering, including perhaps pioneering in astrology, is a way to bridge the gap between my life path and life
mm,
expression.
mhm.
Um, and uh, my soul to personality has a gap of two. Um, and you know what's interesting too is that uh, these numbers show up a lot, or what they present shows up a lot in my life. Like the number 11 shows up everywhere. So, uh, but I think that's going to be on a different page, but I forget where. Is it on special? Oh, yeah, it might be on this stage six special element, but like it's true in my life, there's 11s everywhere. My PO box adds to 11, my apartment adds to 11. I tend to do things when on 11s. I was born in the month 11, and yeah. Okay, cycles and timing. I like this one a lot. I don't personally use this as often as I could, but it'll give you today, as of like today in the calendar, what's going on for you.
Mm.
So by year, by month, and by day. So that's cool. That's going to be helpful, and you can
And
see yeah, go ahead.
what makes this like personal to you per day? I guess I'm curious, like if it's the same date for
Mhm.
you and for I, how is
Mhm.
it, how are the numbers being calculated differently to give us different readings?
Oh, yeah, it's totally um gonna be different because it's just some simple algebra, but or not even algebra, just additions and so on between the two numbers. So I have a different birthday than you. So that's going to give a different result in the formula, just as simple
So
as
it's
that.
calculating something related to the date today relative to my birthday and the
Yeah.
date today relative to your birthday and the
Yeah,
the in
definitely.
between whatever comes through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, and so I like this page too because you can kind of get really quickly the recent past, like the past 3, 4 years, and the upcoming 3, 4 years, which is really cool.
Mhm.
And so that's neat. And then pinnacles and challenges. Let's see what that says. And gives you some time. Oh yeah. So like Mercury, the communicator, birth to age 35, which is when I was a student or when I was youthful. Then the achiever, that is true. That's when I was very achieving a lot in early work. The illuminator, that's until recently, and the humanitarian presently. So
Mhm.
with the challenge being listed as well. So that's going to be helpful. Low Shuprit is a Chinese system,
Mm.
and here you can see some uh, some stronger numbers and qualities to cultivate. Uh, I mean, for me, these are accurate. Let's see. Oops. Okay. So this I have to re-enter my name. Um, I like this name triangle. I know less about the lore of Chinese numerology. I just kind of included it. Uh, but I know more about Chaldean and Vedic and even Pythagorean. But yeah, here we go. See how my name goes from letters and distills down to 11. Remember how I was saying there's like 11
Mm.
everywhere for me? And here's what 11 translates to. And I think this is kind of true. Um, and you can calculate feng shui directions. Very helpful even for Vastu. Um, let's see. Yeah, here's the directions. Um, so, the ones you have to honor and how to honor. So, like for example, the Northwest, having the bedroom there, that's true. That's what I do. The West, health, healing, support is what I do. Southwest, etc. So, um, yeah, pretty cool. Special, just more Chinese. Uh, this is just very simple. Like if you want to see friendships between uh, two people's numbers or something, then you can do
Mm.
that. House number, you can do that. Business name, you can do that.
Oh, that interests me.
Yeah, I know you and I talked about anagrams because anagrams are also
Mm.
something that I made a simple tool on. And so, yeah, the sort of interface between language and numbers and so on is very interesting. So, yeah, this gives good results for AyurAstro, so I'm happy about that. Gematria, Tree of Life, um, and so on. Angel numbers, so this will explain a bit more about these special numbers
Mm.
if you keep seeing one. So I'm going to pull up 11. Um and so angel number, I thought I included in the catalog just 11, but I guess I didn't. Okay, that's fine. But I have 111 and 1111. So yeah, good. I think it was Stephen Colbert who said that he keeps seeing 222 everywhere. He said it like on his show once, recently. And so, hey, this is what the website would say to Mr. Stephen Colbert. So,
Wow.
um, yeah,
Send it to him.
no, I'm not. Oh, here we go. Master numbers. I was on the wrong page. 11 is the intuitive illuminator. And I think um, in essence, that's pretty accurate, I would say,
Mhm.
just given what else we were talking about today.
Mhm. I'm I'm curious if there's any correlation between the Enneagram and numerology in terms of how the numbers are represented, because I'm seeing some similarities.
Oh, yeah. I mean, insofar as Enneagrams also claim a sort of personality synthesia on a number to a personality mapping. I would say there's similarity there. Um, but I don't know enough really about Enneagrams um, to show more. I think just as a casual onlooker at some publications on Enneagrams, they do sort of refer to certain sacred geometry stuff. So let me see what Enneagrams, just a basic like Wikipedia page or something would say about that. Yeah. We have the individualist type 4. I think I'm a type 9 if I'm not mistaken. Discover your type, blah blah blah. Um okay. Yeah, I don't know enough about it to be honest.
Okay.
Um so once again, you can find this if you go to AyurAstro.com. I'll go back to the front page, go to tools up top, and there's going to be a bunch of them. I think like I forget how many, 20 almost. Um, and then go down to numerology and language and choose open tool to open it, the universal numerology. And to pay for it, just click on permanent access $12, and you can just pay by check, PayPal for this. Um, if you were on the store page. Um, yeah, just and if you have trouble accessing either PayPal or uh, uh, if you don't have a check, which a lot of young people, don't do checks anymore, which is fine. I'll send you a simple invoice or point you to some other way you can pay $12 and we can connect you to that universal numerology page.
Amazing. Do you want to pull mine up? Do
Yeah,
you want
let's go back to that. Hold on one second. There we go. So I'll go to the front page. Shall we start similarly with
to?
Pythagorean for you?
Sure. And
Okay.
my birth name is Mary Alice
Mm-hmm.
McConnell. And just
Okay.
there's two big C's on accident.
Oh, thank you.
And my known name is Molly.
Okay.
Date of birth is 12/16/1991.
Whoops. Great. Okay. I think also like we should say Molly McConnell, if we're gonna, because I think it would use your current known name over your birth name.
Mm.
So uh um just we could like if we derive your numbers, oh, it looks like it stays the same. That's cool. I'm thinking of how I programmed this, which was a while ago now, like 8 months ago or something. But I just think we should well, um use the first and last name for
Oh, I see. Uh-huh.
oh, again I did that. Okay, hold on. So I just want to see if it changes for one thing. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, so I think right now it totally leapfrogs over this current known name anyway. It just uses everything with full birth name.
Hmm.
Okay, so once again, derive your numbers. If you feel like commenting on this, feel free. It's
My
up to
life
you.
path, the communicator. Most important number to my soul's journey is 3.
Mhm.
I do relate to being very optimistic, natural entertainer who lifts spirits. Sounds great.
Mhm.
Expression destiny is the seeker, what you are here to express and accomplish your natural talents and work.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. I relate to that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
and this is meant, of course, just for contemplation, and everything's not really meant for more than that. But this is the advanced page, and the idea of karmic lessons 2 and 8. Um, you can read about them up here, in terms of what's missing. But like
Mm.
5 has a really strong presence. It happens 4 times. 3 also has a strong presence. It happens 6 times.
Mm.
Uh, and I'm trying to think what 5, I think it's under core numbers. Is it? No. Was it under Chaldean? If oh yeah, here we go. Chaldean, the explorer, freedom, change, adventure, versatile, and adaptable.
Mhm.
So these two are your most like dominant heavy traits. And
Mhm.
then like 1 and 8, I think are the thinner ones that don't get expressed as much.
Mhm. Yeah, that checks out.
Mm.
Um, I'm curious about um the feng shui directions and
Yeah.
also, I mean, we can just go through in order. No need
Okay.
to rush.
So for you too, Vedic is sort of just a small distance from Chaldean. It's in Chinese numerology that there's a bigger difference. Uh,
Mhm.
so let's go to Kabbalah. Also a small difference. I want to just click on print reading. I forgot I allowed for this. I forgot that was a function, but yeah, evidently you can also print a version of this. Okay, good. Uh, oops, what did I do? Let me go back to that. Okay, so we're gonna do. Oh, I messed up. Um, and when I refreshed for the print job, it deleted your birthday. So let me put your birthday back in. So it's 12. What was it?
Well, 16,
Mm-hmm.
1991.
Okay. Oh, extra 9 in there. This not one, that one favors.
What does that mean?
Yeah. There we go. Try my numbers. Okay, cool. Yep. Um, okay. So I'm gonna click on Chinese for the um system, and then I think it's under advanced. Oh no, that's the karmic lessons and so on. Um, yeah, you can look at cycles and timing. That might be interesting to you. But we can do that at a different time. Here we go. Feng Shui directions. All right, nice. Metal to the northwest. Um, West is wealth, success, life energy. Face
So
this direction.
what does that mean? Like the west corner of my home, like I
Mm.
should face west to chant, like how do I incorporate
Yeah,
that?
yeah. It says face this direction at work and sleep with your head towards the west. So have you worked with someone about feng shui or read about it, or like Vastu? Um,
I have a bit of understanding of Vastu, but I always thought that certain things in Vastu were kind of the same for everyone in terms of like the direction you'd want to sleep and things
uh-huh.
like
Yeah. My understanding of the difference between Vastu and Feng Shui is that Vastu does kind of have more blanket statements than
that.
Feng Shui, which has more personalization, as you're saying. But I think that what I have found is that even the charts of a person, there's a chart for domicile, and it can show like where Lake Michigan is relative to a person's
Mhm.
condo or something. Yeah, like it's really amazing. It really
Mhm.
shares a lot of specific information that's unique to that person, including
Mhm.
um, where they sleep and what colors, or like where there's a septic tank. Oh yeah, or whatever. Yeah, it can change. People's domiciles change, and uh, so too their domicile chart is unique to them, and hence the remedies are going to be unique to them.
So then for Northeast
Mhm.
health healing support, if I am wanting to cultivate those things, is the suggestion to sleep with my head to the Northeast, or am I supposed to relate to Northeast in a different manner?
Maybe do your work in the Northeast, or sit in prayer, or contemplation, or meditation in the Northeast. But or set up your laptop, for your consultations. Molly does Ayurvedic consultations. Uh, I'd like to give your website out if I'll
Yeah,
let you.
please.
Cultivatebalance.com. She's great. You should go see her. But while having your laptop out to do Zoom calls, maybe sit in the Northeast or facing to the Northeast.
Mhm.
But no, sleep is not work, or you don't want the same doshas and so on, to be uh, or the same directions for sleep as you do work. Uh, oh my God, that's so not good.
Mm.
You want to sleep in one section of your place. You want to go to the bathroom a different part. You want to cook and yet a different part. You want to, uh, yeah, no, it should be a very dynamic living organism in a sense, your domicile.
And so when this says for West,
Hmm.
face that direction at work and sleep with head toward, those are different. It's telling me those are different enough. You were just saying you
Yeah,
don't want to sleep and work in the same.
yeah. Yeah, so this says face that direction. It doesn't mean you have to be on the west wall or something for your work.
Uh-huh.
It just means face west, but in the
Okay.
northeast, from the northeast section. Why? Because your work is about health, healing, and support. Yeah,
Okay. So I was thinking it was face northeast, but it's the northeast section, the southwest section, the northwest section, and the
very much.
facing
Yeah.
west throughout in those different quadrants is
Yeah.
beneficial.
Hmm. Hmm.
Wow, that really clarifies it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really I love Vastu. It's a little intense actually sometimes because it can really make or break a situation, to be frank. And so it's like worth the extra energy and trouble and attention and intention. It can really solve a bunch of things, that's all I'll say. And it's worth leaning
Well,
into. Yeah.
I'm moving into a new place on August 1st, so I'll
Oh,
be bringing some of these insights with me as I set up my home.
fantastic. Good. Good, good, good. Yeah, don't forget Northwest is for personal growth, study, and spiritual development. Um, yeah, and so I'd recommend you look at uh your chart for Vastu uh, too. And so if you have any questions on that, feel free to lean in and ask
Okay,
if I can help you. So,
thank you.
sure. Um, I don't want to take up too much of people's time. Um, any last thoughts or questions on
Well, the last
what
thing
this?
that I am curious to explore is I want to put my business name in there, but I can do
Oh,
that off
yeah,
camera
sure.
unless you want to do it together.
Sh Sure.
Okay.
I mean, do you feel bold enough and ready and
Yeah,
open
I
to
feel
it? Okay.
bold.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I am reminded of how um this lady, a practitioner, her business wasn't doing too well. And we sort of looked at her business name. I mean, she had like everything going for her, like expensive marketing, expensive website, like really lots of education, lots and lots of education, like a good practitioner and stuff, but she was losing money. She was paying to keep the business running. And we dared to put in her business name and not good. So Uh, I think it was in the name, and you wouldn't know it from, without looking at the numerology and stuff. So let's get that. I think isn't it up here? Yeah, it's up here. Where was it?
Special?
Uh, I think it's,
Special.
uh, oh, okay, thanks. Address and, yeah, business name. Good job. Okay. So cultivate balance. This is Molly's website. We should look at cultivate balance. Oh wait, my keyboard is pooping out. Okay. Yeah, sorry, yeah, it's just my keyboard having an issue. Yeah, you might need to do it. Hold on.
Oh,
Feel free to do it if you'd like. And take up a screenshot. Let me see if it. Oh wait, my keyboard's working now. So firstly, cultivate balance, and then we can do cultivate. Oh, nice. 7 is good.
mixed, it
Spiritual,
says.
mixed for business, but I think it's good in general for spiritual work and stuff.
Mm,
And okay, so I'm just curious. 11, interesting. Spiritually powerful for business. So I guess I would recommend leaning into like the whole of the website on your cards and marketing and stuff, or even like on your website, label yourself not as Cultivate Balance, but cultivatebalance.com or something, or the DBA or the LLC or whatever you're using.
interesting.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know, but maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it says spiritually powerful. Otherwise, it said mixed. So
Okay,
wouldn't we all rather spiritually powerful?
this might be a good time to remind people that none of this is meant as business, financial, medical, or legal advice, and to just sit with all of this just as additional contemplation material. I would say, see here we're seeing 11, 4, and 11. And so I would see if you're lacking any of this, either 4 or 11, since that is what that name would provide. So if you're low on 4 or 11, that would be meaningful. But actually, I see you're actually quite strong in 4 and 7. Okay, good. 4 and a 7 equal 11. So yeah, I think that is good. Um, I'm looking at I think it's good to use cultivatebalance, .com, but I think also you should do exactly what you want to do at all times. I'm just considering this number that there's feng shui directions again, and this is why I wanted to see. I mean, to lean into 4 and 7 and 11 would be good for you because it would like complement, your birth things. So it would like plug in to your profile what is weakest from your birth date and your birth
Mm,
name.
okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah, so this is not even the most like strongly developed of the tools at AyurAstro.com. It's the one we thought we could sort of get in and talk about in half an hour or so. All the other ones might take more time, but it is one of the ones available. It's yeah, it's considered at least I consider it more modest in scale and scope than some of these other tools.
you.
Okay, so with that
Beautiful.
said, any last thoughts, questions, or ideas?
That was great. I learned a lot.
Oh,
Thank
well,
you.
thanks, Molly. Thanks for asking me those really good questions that I think we all should ask each other and ourselves about childhood and development and
Mhm.
sort of history and who we are and why we're doing the work we're doing. So thank you for that.
I agree. Yeah, of course.
All right, you take care. Thanks everyone for watching and making it this far, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.